Well, the free school is something of a decentralized skill sharing network, essentially. Essentially, we find people who want to teach free classes, and we take those classes, we put them onto a calendar and a website, and we print the calendars, we put them all around town, and the course descriptions are in the back of the calendars. People that would like to go to those classes, go to those classes, and it's totally free of charge, and it's very informal. We don't actually have a physical space for the free school, so it's as likely to happen in somebody's backyard as in a public park. Very, very little overhead as a result. Pretty much photocopies are the only expense the free school has. And it's a way to generate community by taking skills and knowledge, providing a kind of a format and forum for people to access those skills and knowledge in a fairly fun, informal setting. If you're a teacher, you decide where your class is going to be, how often you do it. Maybe you're going to do 1 2-hour workshop. Maybe you're going to do a class, every Thursday night for 3 months. We do it in 3-month segments, semesters or terms or sessions, whatever you want to call that. And we publish the calendar in those 3-month chunks, and with a month off in between. DIY tooth care, bicycle mechanics, educational classes on gas drilling. We've had Anarchism 101, build your own hula hoop, playtime for kids. We've men's anti-sexism discussion group. We've had any number of film screenings. Let's see, we've had a whole bunch of permaculture classes, permaculture reading group, rainwater catchment design class, a number of different like mushroom identification walks and plant IDs, tree IDs, various gardening design classes, a whole bunch of stuff. We do a number of different strategies. We put out a press release to local radio stations and papers and alternative weeklies, saying that we're looking for teachers. We put up posters around town indicating that we're looking for teachers. There's always a blurb about teaching for the free school on the calendar itself and on the website. We send out emails to a number of different listservs, and we have some advertising on some other websites that people have donated us. But I think the most important has been, person-to-person outreach. That's always where we get the majority of our classes. Free School started out as a email list that was created by my friend Biz, who used to live in town, and she made this email list just as a way for her friends to throw out ideas about skill sharing events. And at the same time that this was going on, I was traveling in California, and I was in Santa Cruz, and I encountered the Santa Cruz Free School and went to a few classes there. Came back with a calendar and showed it to Biz and a few other friends. We got excited about it. We had a potluck. We talked about it, and we started kind of hashing out the details of how maybe we could mimic what they did. And we essentially plagiarized the Santa Cruz Free School. We took their format and we just copied it here. And it began in waves. At first we had a whole ton of people, and then we had only a few people, and then it grew and shrunk and grew and shrunk, and this is about 3.5 years ago that we started it. And it was very simple at first. I think maybe we had maybe 8 classes our first term, if that, and I think all of them were one-off things, where it was just like a workshop and that was it. Yeah, and so it started out that way, very, very small, like a single 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that was very, very basically formatted. um, and it's progressed since then as it's gathered steam. More people have contributed their skills and knowledge to it. You know, we have much nicer um, artwork on the calendars now, and we have a website, and it's just kind of snowballed. Advice, first of all, be patient. It was maybe a year before our free school just really crystallized and took off. Stick to your principles, but don't be dogmatic about them, so that people who are interested can come in even if they don't precisely share your ideologies. It's good to make a document that you can give to teachers, that gives some hints about how to operate. Just how a lot of times the teachers have never done anything like this before. So we have a document that we give to teachers. Included in that is consent policy, and I think that's really important that we try to make our spaces consensual and safer spaces. So for us, what that's meant has been we have a document that just basically, in a nutshell, it's more complex than this, but in a nutshell, asks that teachers disclose before springing on people any activity that's going to involve physical touch or emotional disclosure. And that you always give people an out. Make cultural events out of it. We've had some of our best attended things have been free school barbecue, free school potluck, free school dance party or something like that. That's really helped draw people in. Outreach to local organizations that might already have free classes going on. You can just be additional advertising for them, essentially. Like there are various demographics that the free school definitely in Ithaca attracts, and then so just that's something we're currently working with. Just how do we reach out to more rural populations, students, communities of color, a number of different demographics that we don't really engage with as much. Like, not very many of the students at the universities participate. Older folks, like we've got, certain classes have definitely really attracted a lot of middle-aged people, but I think that it would not be false to say that the majority of free school folks who come to it are generally in their 20s to their, late 30s, and generally of some sort of bohemian disposition. So. And this is just a great way for people to meet one another, to receive something very practical in the form of skills and knowledge. Many social circles have been greatly expanded and intertwined as a result of the free school being here. And I think it's really important that that people have access to the skills and knowledge to make themselves more able to take their lives into their own hands, and in a way that isn't cost prohibitive.